So my presentation is about design and construction of buildings in bushfire-prone areas. So how the new code requirements that have just come in earlier this year impact on professionals within the building construction industry, specifically fire engineers, and how we're actually going about designing these structures to make them safe and able to house people who may be vulnerable and may not necessarily be able to evacuate in the event of a bushfire. So the presentation touches on three major topics, and that's industry, professionals and community, so end users. And it talks to essentially how the requirements in themselves have come about and their application between how they're originally developed and the intent of how they're originally developed, and how we're broadly applying them and scaling them up to buildings that may house vulnerable people. And then it also talks to things like professional education and registration, and how we can maintain a good quality of solutions within the fire engineering industry, while also trying to consistently make solutions that are able to be sold, able to be commercially viable. And then also with regard to end users, how we can make it so that the designs that we're developing are actually usable at the end of the day, how these people are actually facilitating evacuation, and what impact that might have on people who are staying within these facilities. My background is in fire engineering. I did a bachelor and master's degree at the University of Queensland, recently graduated in 2020. So my background is in fire safety design of buildings and property throughout Australia. So I come from it from the perspective of I'm part of the industry where we're expected to know how to design these facilities so that they're safe, but also kind of pointing out in my presentation the potential flaws that we have in industry about what we actually have in place that makes it difficult for us to do that safely. I think the most interesting part of it is that we all know that it's a problem, that we all know that things need to be done, but accepting and delegating responsibility to who is really the question of who's going to take on the challenge. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it needs to be everyone. Everyone needs to take responsibility for their part, and we all need to take responsibility to make sure that people are safe in these facilities, because things aren't going to change. And as we continue to go into the future, we're going to start seeing even more prevalent issues in the bushfire space. I mean, we've seen it in the last 10 years. So it's only going to continue changing, and if we don't do something to react now, we're going to be even further behind in the future.